What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another collaboration beer, this time between Jack's Abbey Craft Lagers out of Framingham, Massachusetts, and Mikkeller Brewing, New York City out of Flushing, New York, and this is their Oatis, my man. So they are calling this an Oated Helles Lager, which is a German-style Helles Lager that is brewed with a bunch of oats. Comes in at 5.2% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is just over 5 months old. So first things first, not ideal freshness. I would rather have this a couple months old at the most, but you know, I've seen quite a few of my friends and fellow BeerTubers review / try this one, like Matt over at Massive Beer Reviews and Sean over at Nerd Sense, and they really dig this one. So I just grabbed this off of a shelf of a local bottle shop, and you know, I didn't really look at the date too much. I'm like, oh, it's that Oated Helles Lager, and then I was like, oh, it's almost 5 months. Actually, when I grabbed it, it was just under 5 months old, and now it is just over 5 months old. But we should be okay, I hope. They are hopping this one with Saaz and Hallertau Blanc, and yeah, they're using a bunch of oats, German-style Helles Lager. I'm into it. So Oatis, my man, is one of the famous quotes from Animal House, fantastic movie. And yeah, anyway, let's crack this one open, get it into a glass. So, going to use the other half like lager glass. Give it a slower pour here because it is generating a crazy head. Now, I've seen Matt review this one probably about month and a half ago at the time of this review, and Sean had it on tap, a couple other friends, and people are loving this one. So, you know what? That has some haze to it, maybe some chill haze to it, but definitely a little bit of haze to it. It says, I believe, unfiltered and unpasteurized on the side, so definitely some haze to it. It looks honestly like, I don't know, what does that kind of look like? I mean, yeah, it looks like an unfiltered lager. What am I trying to look for? I have no idea, but it has this like really bright golden yellow color, golden straw color, lots of carbonation, about a finger and a half of this really like fluffy, soap sudsy, bright white head. Looks fantastic. It looks like a Helles Lager. Let's get a nose. Yeah, I mean, it kind of smells like beer, right? So it smells like a Helles Lager, has a graininess to it, a little bit of like a lemon pith, lemon zest type of nose as well. Smells sweeter, a bit of that oat character. I think more often than not when oats are used in beer, whether it's like an oatmeal stout or like a IPA or a New England style IPA or milkshake IPA or any beer where they want the mouthfeel to be, you know, like nice, silky, smooth, and like luscious and creamy. The thing about it is that usually you don't taste or smell the oats because there's so much other stuff going on. I think with a Helles Lager, you're going to pick up on the oats, and I am a little bit of like an oaty sensation to the nose. Touch of like herbal, floral aspect to it as well. Yeah, it just smells like a really well-made German-style Helles Lager. I mean, not much more to say about it. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. I can see why these guys like this beer so much. That mouthfeel, I mean, you wouldn't think that just, you know, adding a bunch of oats would change the profile to this beer that much. I mean, we all know that oats, you know, add that silky smooth kind of mouthfeel, but it does, and this is such a nice beer. Holy shit! I was kind of skeptical going in. I'm just like, oh, you know, Matt's been on a kick lately of drinking a lot of like, you know, lagers and whatnot. When we went to Shelton Brothers Fest, there was a beer, I forgot what style, but he just kept on going back for pours. It was like a 5% lager, and he was loving it. And I'm starting to appreciate more lower ABV lagers as well. And this, for me, is pretty fantastic, honestly. All right, I should probably stop drinking it and, you know, talk about it a little bit. So the nose pretty much carries over. There's a grainy, like, I would not say they're using like Pilsner malt, like a grainy, like crackery, biscuity thing going on right up front. Pass through the palate, get a little bit of that like lemon pith, lemon zest, lemon essence. And then there's an herbal floral aspect that hits as well right at the same time. Really not tasting the oats, but the oats are obviously impacting the mouthfeel. It finishes very clean, really crisp, effervescent on the palate. Just a very light residual bitterness. And this isn't overly sweet, but it has a nice firm sweetness to it as well. Body on this one for is it 5.2 or 5.1? For 5.2%. This body is perfect. It's like lower side of medium body, almost approaching medium. So really nice body at 5.2%. And the mouthfeel, this is where it's a winner. This is why I think like Matt and Sean and everybody really like this one. Mouthfeel spectacular. Probably the best mouthfeel I've ever had in a lager. It retains its crispness, its spritzy carbonation, its effervescence to the beer itself because it is a lager. But then there's this silky smooth component from the oats that just enhances the drinkability and the enjoyability of drinking this one. Like, it's just so fun to drink. You're left with that carbonation and that crispness, but then it just has this silky smooth feeling on the palate as well. This is not an overly complex beer. The style isn't meant to be. It doesn't need to be. What this is a super drinkable 5.2% German-style Helles Lager that's using a bunch of oats, and it's working to a T. Those Saaz and Hallertau Blanc hops 5 months later, it's probably just adding that floral, almost herbaceous, kind of slightly spicy hop component, a little bit of that lemon pith and lemon zest that I'm getting. But for the most part, this is a super drinkable German-style Helles Lager. It's a damn tasty beer. So as far as rating, it goes for Oatis, my man from Jack's Abbey and Mikkeller. I am going to give this a straight on 4.25 out of 5. It's that good. It's really tasty. Price point, did I say tasty? I hope I said tasty. I don't know. I'm in a weird place right now with this review. But anyway, price and availability on this one. Price point in my neck of the woods, it's under $10 a 4-pack. I believe it was like $8.99 4-pack. I believe I paid like $2.50 for this can. Well worth it. For a 4-pack of Pounders being under $10, I think Matt said the same thing, like the price point is what really sells them on this one. And, I see so many of these crazy Pilsners and Helles Lagers and whatnot from like Other Half. Other Half's probably my favorite brewery, but their prices for those beers are like $14 a 4-pack, $16 a 4-pack. Shouldn't be that much. This is $10 a 4-pack or less. That's where this beer should be, and that's where most of these beers should be. So the price point on this one is spot on. Availability wherever you see Jack's Abbey and or Mikkeller, New York City. I don't know if they each of them brew it for their own distro, but I do know that if you do see Jack's Abbey in your neck of the woods, which is pretty much like the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, you probably should see this one. So yeah, 4.25 out of 5 for Oatis, my man, from Jack's Abbey and Mikkeller, New York City. Damn tasty beer. If you've had this one before, let me know what you think about it. 5.2%, really not tasting any alcohol whatsoever. It's just, if you're in the mood for a lager that has a little bit more flavor and has an incredible mouthfeel, you need to seek this one out. I might buy a 4-pack of this if I see it fresh at some point, just to see the difference, say like 3 or 4 months makes with this one. But right now, just over 5 months old, this is still drinking extremely well. So don't be put off if you see this and it's say 5 or 6 months old. I still would grab this one, especially at the price point. So appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.